Welcome back to Weekend at 1. I'm Dennis Aseto. Civil societies have called for the implementation of the Election Campaign Financing Act that caps the spending limits of the candidates in the next general election. Election Observers Group ELOG, Transparency International and Center for the Multi-Party Democracy, among others, have vowed to move to court to ensure the implementation of the regulations. National Assembly Committee on Delegated Legislation had recommended the nullification of the regulations, citing delays by the IEBC to gazette the timelines.
Financing Act requires IEBC to gazette spending limits. These provisions are self-executing, and it is our considered view that they do not require any further regulations. For the second consecutive election, the National Assembly is opting to postpone the application of the regulations to the elections. We opine that this position is self-serving and therefore demand that the National Assembly consider the regulations as a matter of public interest and apply the parameters provided under Standing Order number 210, including whether the regulations tabled are in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and the Elections Campaign Financing Act.
To reject the growing culture of receiving or asking for handouts, which has immensely contributed to and emboldened the political class against spending limits, as they are convinced that ordinary citizens lack moral authority to challenge them.
We need Parliament to even just, instead of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, consider this, give the country direction. And as a matter of public interest, apply even the parameters that are provided under the standing orders, and just give the country direction, rather than just dismissing this debate and saying that it is dead on arrival, because this is a high matter of public interest. If we are really to cure corruption in this country, if we are to really regulate the amount of illicitly acquired money in elections in this country, this is a discussion that we must have to ensure that there's sanity in our politics in this country.
In terms of regulations, that's a very different story. However, we're also saying, and you heard it from our statement, that the laws, the amendments which were presented in 2020 need to be debated. At least there were amendments to discuss the overall act. So if there are problems with the implementation of any part of that act, the Parliament has the powers to debate and make sure that the provisions of that act are implementable. And implementation means including the spending limits.
Thousands have been left homeless as the Afghan war escalates. This comes as President Joe Biden ends the U.S. combat role in Afghanistan.